Hello, hello, hello. Okay, there we go. I think we're good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live stream. We're here for a morning stream today. Um, Morning streams are always fun to do. They're great to do. A lot of people who don't get to catch us live, when we do the morning streams, they're able to do so. So always fun to do a morning stream from time to time. Ghost, what's up, buddy? First in chat. How's it going? It's going good, dude. Let me just very quickly pull my comments up here and go ahead and send out some notifications before we get started. Let me drop those notifications real quick. How's everybody's morning going? How's everybody's morning going? Welcome, welcome. We got Sydney in here. We got Jennifer, David, the Wolf, Martin. What's up, guys? 3 p.m. here in Blackpool, UK. Yeah, dude, that's why I like the morning streams, man. Like I said, it gives people that normally don't get to catch us live an opportunity to do so. So I really enjoy doing the morning streams for that reason. As you can tell, I didn't go all out or anything, but I did make a quick change to our backdrop here. We're trying to get into the Christmas spirit. I'll decorate it a little bit more later on, right? I'll decorate it a little bit more, but for now that'll do. Doing good, you. I'm doing good, David. Welcome to the stream, dude. Hey, before we even get started, I don't want to run it into the ground or anything, but I do want to give another huge shout out to my boy Sky. Thank you for the last stream, Sky. That was amazing. That was awesome, dude. Shout out, shout out. I don't even know if you're here, but if you see this in the future, just know I'm still thinking about you. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you very much, dude. How have you been, Wolf, Sydney? How you guys been, Jennifer? We're going to get rolling in just a second, guys. We always give it a minute or two to let some people get in here who want to watch us live. A bit rough this morning, so I decided to throw on some music and put up the tree. I'm assuming that's his tree. That's awesome, Jennifer. That's awesome. We're going to talk about that. Actually, your comment goes hand in hand with everything that we're going to be talking about in today's stream. So that is a perfect comment for today's stream. Doing good, you. I'm doing good, David. I think I've already responded to that. I'm not sure, but who cares? We'll respond twice. Press the like button. Yeah, thank you, Wolf. I do appreciate all the likes. Thank you, guys. All right, beautiful people. I appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and get this one rolling. We got enough people in here to get started, right? I think we should be okay. Okay. Sky's the luscious one, yes. Doing well, staying the course of just moving forward. I love it. Love the positivity today, guys. Congrats. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get this one started. So today we're going to be talking about anxiety recovery. Do the opposite mentally and physically. So this is not the first time, right? This is not the first time that I have done a stream. Wait a minute, before we get started, let's answer Martin's question real quick. If I'm constantly watching all your videos like the collection, you have not the lives, and I'm just using them to pass the storm, is that not accepting? We're going to talk about that. Actually, that stream is probably going to answer that for you. This stream is going to answer that. So doing the opposite. What's up, Sanchez, Dominique? Doing the opposite mentally and physically. We've done streams in the past on do the opposite. In fact, there's a handful of streams already on my channel entitled do the opposite. But I wanted to do this particular stream this morning because I got to thinking, do the opposite is so true. Everything that we talk about on the channel, the two main keys, just having that accepting inner voice instead of fighting with your thoughts and feelings, and positive behaviors, just living life even though anxiety wants you to shut down. Everything that we sort of go over here on the channel comes back to do the opposite. It really does. So I've done this stream before in the past, but I've not included the word mentally. So I got to thinking, I was like, what is a simple, not confusing, straightforward, to the point stream that I can do to sum it all up for everybody? That's always been my goal. It seems like every stream I do, I come in with that goal in mind, be as straightforward as possible. I got to thinking about that, and I was like, do the opposite. Okay, but what about mentally? Can I say the same thing? Can I tell them the same thing mentally? Do the opposite? I got to thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I can actually. This whole do the opposite, this whole title of do the opposite applies to both physically and mentally during anxiety recovery. So let's say, for example, you can't even, you're experiencing a really intense moment, and you can't even for the life of you remember what the two main keys are. right? Let's say you can't even remember what the two main keys are. Can you tell yourself to do the opposite mentally and physically, and that be your objective and that be your goal? And if you work on that and if you practice that, you're right on the road to recovery? Yes, absolutely. Let's break that down. Let's talk about that. So do the opposite. Now, our two main keys, how does this apply? Positive behaviors and the accepting inner voice. If you're doing the opposite, you are going to be using these keys kind of naturally, because think about it for a second. Let's say you're experiencing a really intense anxiety moment and all you want to do is run to your room because that's what you're used to doing, or all you want to do is get on Google because that's what you're used to doing, or all you want to do is a coping method, a compulsion, whatever your compulsions and coping methods are. So let's say you decide that you're going to do the opposite. What would that look like? It would look like positive behaviors, right? So if you refuse, okay, I'm not going to get up and run to my room. I'm not going to do the coping methods. I'm not going to do the compulsions. I'm just going to continue doing what I was doing, right? I'm going to continue that chore I was working on. I'm going to continue doing that hobby. I'm going to continue having this fun. I'm going to continue doing what I was doing. I'm going to do the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do. Anxiety wants me to shut down. Anxiety wants me to run to my room, to use the coping method, to use the compulsion. I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to challenge myself. Okay, I'm feeling really intense, so I'm going to do the opposite of compulsions, coping methods, and running to my room, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something productive. I'm going to do something fun, right? That is do the opposite. You are doing the opposite of what fight or flight wants you to do. You are going against fight or flight, right? Therefore, you're using positive behavior. Some people get confused on positive behavior, right? What is positive behavior? Well, it's doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do with your physical behaviors, right? So that is do the opposite as far as the physical is concerned, right? So if you're living by do the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do physically, then you're automatically going to be using what we call positive behaviors, right? So that sums that up nice and neat. What about mentally? Wonder Bro, can we use the whole mantra of, if you want to call it a mantra, I'm not a huge fan of that word, but whatever. Can we use the whole mantra of do the opposite mentally too? Can we use that mentally too? Does that apply too? Yes. Let me break that down. Let me explain that. So the first thing that you want to do when you are anxious, when you are having an intrusive thought, a very sticky intrusive thought that's causing you all kinds of physical symptoms and distress, the first thing that you typically want to do, right, is to jump up there into your head and start fighting with it and trying to solve it and trying to argue with it and figure it out and ruminate over it and obsess over it, right? You want to, all those terms mean the same thing. They mean get up there in your head and start being negative. That's basically what they mean at the end of the day. So if you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, because that's what anxiety wants you to do. It wants you to figure it out and solve it and argue with it and try to get rid of it, and that's what anxiety wants you to do. So if you're living by this whole do the opposite thing, right? You can do that mentally too. Okay, so what is the opposite of mentally doing what the anxiety wants you to do, aka figure it out and solve and ruminate? The opposite would be to just let it hang out, right? There's that thought. You could tell yourself something like, you know what, it is what it is. Anxiety doesn't want you to do that. Anxiety wants you to figure it out. Anxiety doesn't want you to just let it hang out and say, okay, whatever, just leave it unresolved. It is what it is. Just let it be there. My brain's learning. Anxiety doesn't want you to do that. It wants you to get involved and fight and obsess and argue and ruminate. So can you apply do the opposite, right, to the thoughts? Yes. So you can apply this both mentally and physically. And if you are applying do the opposite both mentally and physically, then you are using our two main keys. There's no way that you couldn't be using our two main keys if you are truly applying do the opposite, right? Because physically, anxiety is going to want you to shut down or get up and run or whatever it is. And if you're saying, okay, I'm just going to do the opposite, and then you choose something that is the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, okay, physically you're using positive behaviors. There you go. There's one of the keys. Now, mentally, if you're saying do the opposite, so a thought comes, anxiety wants you to figure it out, but you're just embracing it with what you tell yourself, right? Well, then you're doing the opposite there too. And because of that, you are using our other of the two main keys, which is the accepting attitude, accepting inner voice, whatever you want to call it. So I thought it was interesting. The more I thought about this topic, can I do a stream on this topic? I thought it was interesting to think about. Yes, I can do a topic on this stream, because do the opposite really does apply to both the mental and physical, the physical and the mental, right? The mental and the physical. Do the opposite really applies. And if you truly are doing the opposite mentally and physically, you are using our two main keys. So this for me was an interesting topic because I was like, okay, the two main keys are pretty straightforward. They're pretty to the point, but what's something, I'm always, you guys know me, I'm always looking for how can I make it even more simple? How can I put this in an even more simple way? How can I make it even more, easy to digest, right? So this was a important topic to me. I was like, okay, do the opposite. If you can live by those 3 words, you are automatically doing the two main keys, right? Do the opposite, both physically and mentally. And it's interesting because Mint wrote a comment and said, I remember a therapist told me this, do the opposite, but I had problems understanding it in the beginning because I found it hard to identify what was my own healthy voice and what was the negative behavior voice. I had to get started using another approach, but now I understand better. The opposite is to leave the figuring out anxiety. Yeah, exactly. Just like we went over just now. The opposite is to leave the figuring out alone because that's what anxiety wants you to do. It wants you to get that quick relief. The opposite, right, is to not use coping methods, compulsions. It's to use positive behavior. So you can use this, again, both physically and mentally. Do the opposite. Challenge yourself today, right? If you start feeling very anxious and physically you want to do some sort of coping method or compulsion, speak those 3 words. I'm going to do the opposite. Right? And now let's say it's mentally. Let's say mentally you got a thought going on. You really want to figure that out or get reassurance or whatever it is that you do when you got a sticky thought. Just remind yourself, okay, what's the opposite? And then do the opposite, right? I love how you can take this advice, our 2 main keys here. I love how you can take the 2 main keys and break it down into 3 words, right? Now, let's go over some things to expect. So No Name said, anxiety wants me to get up and do stuff. Guess I need to, what Steph from Discord said, I need to do, sorry, I can't read between the lines today, apparently. I need to do what Steph from Discord said and rest. Yes, like let's say in that moment, anxiety wants you to get up and shoot out the door and start pacing around the house. You should probably put on a funny movie and relax a bit, right? You can always do the opposite. And just to carry on this topic, there's a few things I want to go over. Number 1, you're going to have to do a little bit of brainstorming. You're going to have to figure out what your do the opposite is. What are your compulsions? What are your coping methods? What do you try to fight with mentally? Figure out your physical and mental compulsions, right? Both of those exist. Figure those out and then do the opposite of them. So that's number 1. You might have to do a little bit of research here, okay? But, since day 1, the advice hasn't changed. This has always been the advice. It's just a new way of putting it. And number 2, the thing that I want to go over here, this is one people don't want to hear, but it's one people need to hear, right? And we've been stressing this here recently because it's so important. Will this be fun? Let's say you wake up today and you're like, you know what? Screw it. I want my life back. I want to heal. I'm capable. I can do this. I've been going through this long enough. I'm gonna put my foot down. I'm gonna buckle down, and I'm gonna give this 100% of my effort, 110% even of my effort. Let's say you wake up today with that attitude. Great. Will it be fun if you live by those 3 words, do the opposite? Will it be a fun experience? No, it'll suck. It'll suck. It'll suck a lot, right? Because here's the thing. For so long, your compulsions and your coping method has been your way of living. Every thought comes, you sort it, you figure it out, you get the reassurance, you do whatever, and that brings you temporary relief, and then it just comes back, right? But it gives you that temporary relief. Maybe it doesn't even do that anymore, but for a lot, it gives you that temporary relief. Let's say physically, you're used to getting up, pacing around, running around, compulsions, coping methods, whatever those are for you. You've been doing these things for a long time, guys. They're habits. Right? So when you start to live by do the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, your brain's going to be like, what the hell? What the hell are you doing? You are in danger. You need to do the compulsion. You need to do the coping method. You need to fight with that thought. You need to do the physical coping methods and compulsions. You need to behave physically like you always have. You need to get up there and fight with those thoughts like you always have. That's what your brain's going to be screaming. So no, it's not going to be fun. Right? You're going to have to go against that. You're going to have to go against that strong pull, and it is a strong pull. But you're going to have to go against that, right? So will it be fun? Let's answer that question. No, absolutely not. It will not be fun. In fact, so let's give an example here. Let's just pick one from chat. No Name, again, their comment says, anxiety wants me to get up and do stuff, and there's nothing wrong with getting up and do stuff, but here's a few examples of how you could do the opposite. Let's say you do it in a slower fashion, a more deliberate fashion. That's doing the opposite of being so boom, 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 all around, so quick and pacing, right? So that's doing the opposite. Let's say you want to practice just watching a movie, right? And anxiety wants you to get up and pace around the house. No, I'm just going to watch a movie. So there's some examples of do the opposite. Now, are you going to have fun doing that? Probably not. We try to be really honest here on the channel. There's no sense in sugarcoating it. You're not going to have too much fun doing that. In fact, your brain's going to scream at you a little bit, and it's going to say, no, you need to get up and pace around. There's a tiger here. You can't relax right now. You can't watch a movie from start to finish. There's a tiger here, right? So when you start to do the opposite, it's not going to be fun, but you're going to be retraining your brain. You're not going to want to, but you're going to be retraining your brain. You're not going to feel like it, but you're going to be retraining your brain. You're not going to feel great, but you're going to be retraining your brain. When you do the opposite, you start sending a new message. When you do the opposite, you start telling the brain a different story. And that's what we need. We need you to start telling the brain a different story so that the brain can say, wait a minute, maybe there isn't a real danger. Maybe there isn't a real threat. Right? Because they're doing the opposite of my advice. The anxiety's giving you advice physically and mentally. Fight with this thought. Fight with this feeling. Use the coping method. Use the compulsion. When you start to do the opposite of that, it might take some time and the brain might throw a fit or two. That's saying the least, right? But eventually the brain's going to say, wait a minute, they're going about this a totally new way. There must not be a real danger. There must not be a real threat. Right? Cherie says, what happens if life feels like a tiger now, not just one? It applies to all, right? It applies to all. The tiger that we're referring to is not one or two specific things. The tiger that we're referring to is just a tired nervous system. The brain thinks there's a tiger, right? It doesn't matter what the tiger is. It doesn't matter if you're upset about one specific thought or 10 specific thoughts, or it doesn't matter if you're upset about a feeling. It doesn't matter what the tired nervous system makes into a tiger. It's all a part of the same tiger, right? It's one of the whole. It's all a part of the same tiger. So it's not like you're tackling one thing and then this thing. No, it's all a part of the same system. A tired nervous system making multiple things, probably hundreds of things, into a tiger. So it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You use do the opposite advice so that you can show the brain and train the brain, right, that there is no tiger. It doesn't matter if it's about this subject, or this subject, or that topic. It doesn't matter. It's all a part of the same system, the same tiger. Right? Tired nerves, making this into a tiger, this to whatever. Do the opposite. It doesn't matter if you wake up today and you have a sticky thought that is on this subject, and you wake up tomorrow and you have a sticky thought on a totally different subject. It's all a part of the same tiger. It's all a part of the same system, and the advice applies to all of the above, right? You're always just doing the opposite physically and mentally of what the anxiety wants you to do. So it wants you to figure out that thought and fight that thought and get that thought to go away so that you can be safe from the tiger. Well, you're not going to do that. You're going to embrace it instead. You're not going to fight with it, and you're not going to argue with it. Physically, it wants you to get up and pace around the house. Well, you're not going to do that. You're going to enjoy your day watching movies, snacking on popcorn. It wants you to rush around. Well, you're not going to do that. You're going to slow down. It wants you to stay quiet. Well, you're not going to do that. You're going to play video games with your friends, whatever. It wants you to abandon your chores because it wants you to freeze and stay on the couch all day. Well, then you're not going to do that, right? Apply it to whatever your situation is, both mentally and physically. Apply it to your situation mentally and physically, doing the opposite. Right now, for all of you, as far as the mentally goes, doing the opposite mentally, the advice is going to look more or less the same for all of you, because mentally these thoughts come in, the brain wants you to fight them. It thinks there's a tiger, and if you fight it, then you're just reinforcing it. So you're just embracing them, accepting them, and you're just saying it is what it is. You're letting them say whatever they want to say, right? That's going to look the same for all of you. Now, physically, it might look different for you guys, right? Because you got to figure out what your own physical compulsions and coping methods are, right? So that's up to you to figure out. Now, Again, an easy way to do that is what is the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do, and then do that, right? But mentally, you're all going to be practicing the same thing here. It's all going to be the same thing as far as the mental stuff goes. Physically, it might look a little bit different from person to person, because let's say one person likes to freeze up when they're anxious and just stays on the couch all day, 24 hours a day. They need to get up, they need to do the opposite of freezing. Now, let's say for the next person, their anxiety wants to, oh, you can't sit down for longer than a second. You need to get up and pace around. Well, then they need to sit down and watch a movie, right? So on a physical level, it may look a little bit different for you guys, but on a mental level, it's pretty much going to be all the same. Don't fight with your intrusive thoughts, because that's what anxiety wants you to do. Embrace it, accept it, desensitize to it, so forth and so on. So that's a good little thing to point out there. Mentally, it's going to look the same for you guys. Physically, it might look a little bit different. But do some brainstorming. Figure out what your compulsions are. Figure out what your coping methods are, and let's do the opposite. So that was the point of the stream today. Beautiful people. Do the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, and continue to do the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, and you'll start to tell your brain that, hey, this tiger does not exist, because I'm no longer taking anxiety's advice. I'm living for me and not for the anxiety. I love you guys oh so much. Thank you for watching today's stream. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. We're going to put on should we put on some Christmas music? Is it too early? Be honest, guys, is it too early? Should we put on some Christmas music? We are going to hang out with chat regardless, though. Who do we still have in here? We got Sanchez. We got Sky. Sky, I was just talking about you, dude. I was telling the chat how grateful I was for you, and how I definitely have not forgotten what you did for me last stream. So thank you so much for that, dude. But let's go ahead and let's get some music going. Sky, you the man. I love you, dude. I love you. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Let's get some music going. We are gonna try a little bit of Christmas music, guys. All right, don't freak out. Don't freak out. It'll be lo-fi, but it'll be like Christmas themed, so it should be okay. I'm having negative thought about healing because I've been practicing for months and keep having setback. Stop worrying. Backslid a bit. Aren't you the same person the other day who said you get in that sort of self-defeated negative mindset after just a few days? So what is it, a few days or a few months? Because you're sending me mixed signals here. No, I get what's going on. I get what you're doing. Basically, you're trying to base this thing off of your symptoms. You can't do that. You base recovery off of whether or not, just to go with the theme of this stream, you are doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do mentally and physically, right? That's what you base recovery off of. So you're just making a very common mistake, you could say, which is to base recovery off of how you feel, and that's not what you're in it for. Yes, you're in it to heal in the long run. Yeah, like I totally understand that. You're in it to heal in the long run, but right now you can't be basing all of that off of symptoms. We are not concerned about what your symptoms are doing, and we are neither concerned about your comfort, right? Which sounds a little bit brutal. Your comfort's irrelevant. We are just concerned on whether or not you're sending the correct message to the brain, that message being that there is no real tiger, and you can only do that by doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do physically and mentally. And like I said, when you start to do that, it really sucks. It really sucks. Like, it's not fun. For some people, it makes it a little bit more intense at times. Oh, God, I just triggered everybody's anxiety. Listen, guys, it's the only way. I'm sorry. I don't mean to play the bad guy. I don't mean to play the devil here, but it's the only way. It is going to get intense. When you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, your brain is going to be like, holy shit, you're not listening to me. There's a tiger. You're about to die, and it's going to freak out a little bit from time to time. But that's great, because anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. So there's the cold, hard truth. But here's the good news. It's going to be no worse than what you've already dealt with. You have put up with this thing and put up with this thing for so long. It is going to be no worse than what you've already dealt with, right? It's going to be no worse than what you've already dealt with, so you might as well do it the right way. So, a few months, that's not a whole lot of time, right? That's not a whole lot of time to do a ton of, yeah, you can do a ton of rewiring in a few months, but let's not jump the horse here and say that we should be 100% in a few months. You got work to do, right? Some people might feel like they're 100% in 2 weeks. I don't know. We don't know time frames. We don't know how long it'll take. We don't know how many pathways you've got in your brain that need retrained. We don't know if it's 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months. All we know is that that's a pointless conversation, and it sucks a little bit, but it's worth it. right? Continue doing the opposite of what your anxiety wants you to do, both physically and mentally, and it's worth it. That's what we do know. We don't know about times around here, right? It's impossible. But we do know that if you put in the work and you continue doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, physically and mentally, even though that's going to suck at times, right? Even though that's going to suck at times, it will pay off in the end. That's what we do know. We got Kate in the house. What's up, Kate? I liked it. This is a good one. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. Let's see. We still got Mint here. Martin inboxed you. I will check that out, Martin. I'll check that out. It's a few months. Okay, I've already read that one. So it gets intense, and then some people crumble when it gets intense because, they're like, oh, wait a minute, it getting intense must be a sign that I'm doing something wrong. No, guys, understand that if it gets intense, that's probably a sign that you're doing everything right. Because when you're not using coping methods and compulsions and you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do physically and mentally, your brain's going to freak out a bit. It's going to be like, oh my God, you are putting us in harm's way. You're not taking my advice. You're going against my advice. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's going to get intense, guys. And that's probably a sign that you're doing everything right, not a sign that you're doing everything wrong. You really got to change that belief. You're going to struggle until you change that belief, right? If you're basing recovery off the way that you feel, you're really going to struggle, right? We need you to understand that when you start to do the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do physically and mentally, your brain freaks out, and that's okay. That's probably a sign that you're doing everything right, right? Can you get where we're coming from here? I know that's not a fun topic to discuss, but it's a topic that needs to be discussed because it's just the truth. It's just the truth. We're not wanting you to go into this feeling comfortable. We want you to feel very uncomfortable, and we want you to feel horrible, but we want that because anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. And if you're feeling intense, that probably means you're not using your coping methods and compulsions, and you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, which is great because that's going to pay off big time. That's going to lead to healing, right? So again, that's not a topic people want to talk about, but it's one that we really got to talk about, and that's why I did that stream not long ago called It's Gonna Burn, right? It's gonna burn. That's just how it works, guys. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on, but like I said, it's no worse than what you've already been through just dealing with this thing with coping methods and compulsions for all these years, right? It's no worse. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. When you get rid of your safety nets and you start doing the opposite of what anxiety wants physically and mentally, your brain's gonna freak out a bit, right? Because you're putting yourself in quote-unquote harm's way. So, but that's how it learns. How you doing, Sky? Guess what I'm buying? A freaking headset that has Discord-approved mouthpiece. Time has Studlicious on. Dude, that is awesome. We finally got you a headset. When is that coming in? Did you already order it? Sky? Let's see. How are you doing today, Kate? I hadn't thought of it that way. A lot of people just don't want to think of it that way. They look at acceptance as something that should bring you relief, when really it's quite the opposite. When you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, right? That's getting rid of your coping methods, compulsions, and even, all those little things. And your brain's not going to like that at first. It's going to make you uncomfortable. You have to activate the fear to generate new pathways. Anxiety learns while anxiety is turned on. There's a million different things we could say about that topic, but it all comes down to this. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, but as long as you're doing the opposite, physically and mentally, of what anxiety wants, then you're showing your brain that the tiger does not exist, and that'll pay off for you, right? So I hope that puts it in a bit more of perspective for you, No Name. That way, instead of getting self-defeated when you don't feel better, you can be like, wait a minute, this is an opportunity. Because you're still kind of viewing it the wrong way. You're like, oh, my brain freaked out, and that's a bad thing. No, anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. You've got to start seeing it as an opportunity rather than a bad thing, because we want you to do the opposite of what anxiety wants physically and mentally. How can we get you to do that if you're viewing it as a bad thing? You got to view it as, okay, it's time to put in the work. It's time to teach my brain. You can't say to yourself, oh, the anxiety's high, so, well, that sucks, and then negative, negative, negative. You got to say, oh, the anxiety's high? Okay, it's time to do that work. I'm not going to argue with any thoughts. I'm not going to fight with any feelings. I'm going to do positive behaviors. I'm going to show my brain this tiger does not exist, right? That needs to be the attitude. Even if it's not 100%, that needs to be the practiced attitude, right? So there's probably still a little bit of resistance there, No Name, which is okay. It's there for a lot of people. There's probably still a little bit of resistance. about how, oh, this feeling's a bad thing. No, 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 no. We gotta start seeing it as an opportunity. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. Just do the opposite. If you can't even remember the 2 keys, right? And you got a feeling come over you, anxiety. Oh God, I want to get up and I want to run away right now. Do the opposite. Oh God, I want to get quiet and I want to freeze up and I want to stop talking. Do the opposite. Start talking, right? Just do the opposite. If mentally you got a thought come on, oh, I really want to figure that out and solve that and run away from that. Do the opposite. Just embrace it with what you tell yourself, right? You get what you see what I'm getting at here. And again, that's not a fun process, but you will gain confidence as time goes on. Olivia said, I went to the gym even though my heart wouldn't stop racing. I love it, Olivia. Thought I was going to die, but just did the opposite, and I feel so much better. There you go. Everybody go read Olivia's comment. Just always do the opposite. And even if you didn't feel instantly better, guess what? Just keep doing the opposite. What's up, Mr. Craig? How you doing, Craig, buddy? I hope you're doing well. I have Texas chainsaw lung chunks at the moment. Do you feel any better, Sky? Do you feel any better? I hope you feel better, dude. Is that an ad? Yes, that's an ad. I did not catch it. It didn't sound like an ad at first. It sounded like just music. Hey, you know, if you can maintain it for a few days, that's probably longer than you could maintain it before, right? So I call that progress. When you feel yourself slipping back into the negative attitude, no name, sit yourself down and have a firm talking to yourself, a stern talking to yourself, and get right back at it. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but there's nothing wrong with regrouping and being firm with yourself and saying, okay, you know, we got to get back to being goal-oriented. We got to understand that I got to change my attitude about these thoughts and feelings. Opportunity, right? Take advantage of it. Become competitive, you could say. Competitive. Challenge yourself to do the opposite. Challenge yourself to do the opposite. And it might suck at first, right? That's something we got to accept. It might suck at first, but, you know, you'll get there. You'll get there. I hope you feel better, Sky. I know you were feeling really rough in our last stream. I hope you feel a little bit better. Do you know what name brand of mic you got, Sky? Is excitement/anxiety confusion a thing? Sometimes when I get really pumped and excited, it can trigger my anxiety. It's because they're more or less the same feeling. It's all about perspective, right? So if you're viewing something in a very negative way, you're going to feel fearful, and then people put the label of anxiety on that. You know, so you might be getting excited, and then you put the label of negative on that. You put the label of, oh God, my anxiety on that. And then you kind of turn it into a fearful anxiety moment, right? When it was really just the body in an arousal state, because that's what anxiety/excitement is a body in the arousal state. So that's a good comment, because it proves that, hey, start seeing these feelings in a new way. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of the opportunity to retrain your brain. Don't be so quick to put negative labels on it. So I like that comment. Skullicious 3000. There you go, dude. I can't think of a better headset for you, Sky. I can't think of a better headset for you, man. The Skullicious 3000. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. All right, guys, give me just a second. I will be right back. If you've got any questions, now is the time to ask them. Sky, thank you again, dude. I know I keep saying it, but you're awesome. We will be right back. If you've got any questions, now is the time to ask them. If you haven't hit that like button already, hit that like button. Let's continue to grow, and I'll see you in just a second. All right, we are back, beautiful people. Who do I still have in the chat with me? Who do we still got? Also, while we were gone, we got a $10 tip from Craig. Craig, buddy, thank you so much, Craig, for the $10 tip. I really appreciate you, dude. That helps me more than you know. Thank you, dude. Thank you for the $10 tip, Craig. Can we show Craig some love in the chat, guys? Show Craig some love in the chat. Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you, dude. Yeah, there's still just a just to kind of pick up where we left off with No Name's comments. It kind of got me thinking about the subject of there's still a good handful of people out there who believe acceptance is like supposed to feel good, and it's not. Right? It's just not. And that's why I believe people are struggling, because they're trying to use this accepting inner voice and positive behaviors with the belief that, oh my God, why is it not making it go away? Well, then you're just 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out again. You can't use this advice with the dominant mindset being, oh my God, why is it not making it go away? No, you need to say to yourself, okay, this is just a challenge. I'm just challenging myself to do the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do, physically and mentally. And if it makes me feel even worse, okay. But I'm doing the opposite no matter what. Ooh, that's important. I'm doing the opposite no matter what, right? Because if you're only doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, physically and mentally, with the hopes that it'll make you feel good, then you're going to tap out and you're going to stop when it matters most. God, why am I hiccuping all of a sudden? You're going to stop when it matters most. You're going to tap out, right? You're going to tap out. You can't use this advice with that mindset. You have to use this advice with the mindset of, I'm doing the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do, whether it makes me feel good or not, right? And then in the end, ironically, that leads to healing and feeling better, right? But for the time being, it cannot be, the attitude cannot be, I'm going to do the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do, physically and mentally, in hopes that I feel better. And if I don't start feeling better, then I'm going to go back to my old ways. I'm going to start fighting with every thought again, and I'm going to start using physical coping methods and behaving in a coping way, behaving it with bad behaviors. You can't do that. The attitude has to be, I'm going to do the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do, physically and mentally, no matter what. Right? Not based on feelings. No name, thank you so much for the $5 tip. I hope you were satisfied with my answers to your questions. I hope it helped you out there. Thank you so much. We are at 15, guys. Thank you. Let's show some love to our tippers today. Thank you so much. Tony, welcome to the stream, Tony. Hope you're doing fantastic. Again, thank you, No Name, and thank you, Craig. Appreciate it, guys. Love you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We have the most badass community here, right? We have the most badass community here, hands down. I love you guys. Awesome community. The imbalance when I walk is driving my anxiety. So again, a lot of people trying to use acceptance as a way to feel better. And I know in the end, that's the goal, healing, right? I'm not taking that from you. But while you're doing the opposite, I'm just trying to stick to the theme of the stream today, the title of the stream. While you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do with your physical and mental actions, you can't do that with the attitude of, okay, this is going to make me feel better. If it does, great. And it might, right? You might have ups and downs and it might make you feel better. If it does, great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. If it does, great. But if it doesn't, and if in moments it gets even more intense because you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, mentally and physically, and it gets even more intense, that's fine. You just keep doing it. You just keep doing the opposite no matter what. That's the winning attitude. Because you can't do this until, okay, I've had enough and tap out. No, it's do the opposite no matter what. If it makes you feel better some moments, great. If it doesn't, great. If it gets more intense because you're not using physical coping methods and compulsions, great. Keep doing it. If it makes you feel, whatever, we're not basing it off of the way that you feel. We're not basing it off that at all. We're not you can't base it off that at all, because if you base it off your feelings, you're going to do the work sometimes, and then other times you're not going to do it. It's just going to be based on how you feel, and that's just not going to work. You got to do the opposite no matter what the feelings are, right? You got to do the opposite. Anxiety learns while anxiety's turned on. Man, this playlist, I really like this music playlist, but is absolutely littered with ads. Holy crap. Okay. So let's say, let me give an example because I want to be very clear on this. And yes, Kate, it was absolutely mind-blowing and amazing. Please show all the love to Sky. Thank you, Sky, again. Let me give an example. You guys know I love examples. Let's say you're having a really rough day, right? You just wake up and anxiety's already there. It's just, you can tell it's going to be one of those anxiety-filled days, right? Let's say you sit up in bed and you're like, okay, well, yesterday I did positive behavior. I got up and I took a shower. But today I'm just, man, I'm feeling really intense. I'm feeling really rough. So you know what? Today I'm just going to lay in bed for a couple more hours and I'm going to get on Google and I'm going to not really talk to my friends today. I just don't feel like it today. Wonder, bro, I just don't feel like it. I'll do it tomorrow when I feel a little bit better. The anxiety is just really intense today. Not going to get to recovery that way. Right? Your brain is learning while that anxiety is pumping, especially while it's triggered and intense, right? So you're not going to get to recovery that way. Now, if you wake up and you're feeling really intense and you're like, okay, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to get up, I'm going to take my shower, I'm going to talk to the people around me, I'm going to put on a smile. If I got a thought that's there, but I'm not arguing with it. I'm just, going on about my day. It is what it is. Let it burn. Then you're going to get to recovery. You're going to get to recovery. But if you're still, right, and this is just something to be aware of. I'm not trying to bash you or anything, but you might need to make this correction. If you're still only doing the opposite when you feel up to it, well, we're not going to get there. You got to do the opposite no matter what. No matter what. All right? You can't just do the opposite when you feel like doing the opposite. You do the opposite even when that shit is intense. And while you're doing the opposite, you've got the accepting inner voice, you're doing positive behaviors. While you're doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do, you don't look over your shoulder and say, okay, where's my relief? But is it normal to be all day and then feel like a breakdown is needed, or is that a sign I'm still fighting deep down? It's really hard to say without knowing a few more details. I can't really get inside your head. Are you leaving the thoughts alone and just letting them kind of consume you and just saying it is what it is? Or are you up in your head being negative? Where's my relief? I want my relief and I hate this so much. Or are you just keeping that accepting inner voice and saying, hey, you know what? We're going to do this thing. And, I don't know. So it's really hard to answer that question without knowing. You got to ask yourself those questions. Am I getting up each day and am I doing the opposite of what anxiety wants me to do physically and mentally? Right? That's the question. If the answer is yes, you're doing the opposite. You're not fighting with your thoughts and feelings mentally. You're doing positive behavior. You're just doing the opposite of what anxiety wants you to do. That's how you can sum it all up. Am I doing the opposite? If the answer to that question is yes, then you're fine, right? You're fine. Wait, the server should be on, right? Is the server not on? Hold on, let me see. I think the server's on. Yeah, the server should be on. You might need to update. There was an update that came out, and you can't play online until you do the update. So you need to check like your system files and see if you can do the update. That's probably what it is. Holiday hustle is real. Let's see here. Just an underlying feeling of dread and anxiety. Yeah, don't hold nothing back. Let that be there. Let that be there. Don't try to keep that at bay. Just keep doing the opposite and don't try to keep that at bay. You know, if that wants to get intense, let that get intense. Don't try to use anything to make that go away. Just continue to let it be, right? And continue just doing the opposite. Yeah, you can start a new server, Kate, but it won't let you play online unless you update. So, like, you can play by yourself without updating, but that might be why it won't let you play. You can play single player without it, though. Yeah, because I was on it. I believe it was yesterday, and I noticed I didn't have my character's skin. I was like, well, that's weird. Where'd that go? And then I pulled up the menu, and it was like, you must update to access online features. Blah blah blah. I don't know what all they added. It seemed like an interesting update, but I didn't. I'll be honest, I didn't read through the whole thing. Another ad, dude. This music playlist is littered with ads. Littered with ads. Let's see. I was going to read this to you guys earlier. Yeah, look into it, Kate, and if it doesn't let you join, we could try to restart it. Yeah, so I was going to read this to you guys earlier. So here's a good way of kind of putting why you should be doing the opposite. So you use avoidance techniques. Now, that could be mentally or physically, whether that's trying to solve a thought or whether that's a physical compulsion or behavior. You use avoidance techniques. Your limbic system, part of, your amygdala, your limbic system has access to your senses. It watches you perform this avoidance action in response to a fear sensation, symptom, or thought. It concludes that there must be a danger purely by analyzing your actions and choices. You feel the fear it produces. You continue to use avoidance techniques. So you can see the cycle there, right? You can see the cycle there. So your brain kind of, it watches you take its advice. It watches you use these avoidance techniques, these mental and physical fighting avoidance techniques, and it comes to the conclusion that the danger must be real just based on that. Just based on that. What's up, M? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Psychological hiccup. I've been able to let it go in spectacular fashion. Hopefully you can let your fun go. We have your back. I love it, Sky. Keep up the good work, dude. Keep up the practice. Who do we still have with us here? What the bro, Sanchez? What's up, Sanchez? How you doing, dude? Are you excited for Christmas? Put up your Christmas tree, your Star Wars themed Christmas tree, which is totally badass, if I might add. Winner of last year's Christmas tree competition while building cabinets. Nice. Sounds like someone's having a productive day. Hard work. Still not feeling 100%, Sky? Well, do you at least feel a little bit better from the last stream? A little bit of improvement? Are you taking off work, having some rest days? I don't know. The flu's been going around like crazy. Just about everybody I know is sick. I wasn't feeling too hot for a few days there, but we got that bounce back. That bounce back right into it. Our year end awards? Yes, we absolutely should. We absolutely should. Very excited. I bought more Star Wars collector items. Are we having a contest this year? Yes. We definitely should. I agree with you guys. We'll see what categories we can come up with. I'm tired today. It's okay to be tired, man. Stream motivated me. I was sitting on the couch doing nothing. Now I'm doing something I used to enjoy. I love it. I love it. Hey, whatever you decide to do today, whatever decisions you decide to make today, you got this. You got this. Hey, that's what we're here for, to try to motivate people, right? That's like the number one reason we're here. Like, yeah, we're spreading the knowledge and stuff, but we're mostly trying to motivate people to use that knowledge. It's a sliding scale. I'm back at work though, next to no energy. Well, at least you got like a few days off, right? I hope you feel better soon, Sky. What's up, Steph? Hi guys, what's up, M? How you doing? Sanchez advice: when you feel anxious and feel it coming on, I say F it. There you go, dude. That's an accepting inner voice. It's just, okay, whatever, be there if you will. I'm gonna keep living. It works. I mean, it works. It works. There's nothing wrong. There is absolutely, literally nothing wrong with that inner voice. There's nothing wrong. You're not trying to fight with your thoughts and feelings. You're just living. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that inner voice whatsoever. You got the attitude, man. You got the attitude. Perfect. And again, guys, when you're doing the opposite and you're not fighting with these thoughts and you're just letting them kind of be there and you're not doing physical compulsions, that's not going to feel fun, guys. I don't want to end the stream by saying that, but it's true, man. You need to understand that, yeah, there's a chance that it might make you feel better, right? Because you're motivated and encouraged, but there's also a chance that it might not feel very good because you're going to want to fight with these thoughts and feelings. The anxiety is going to grow a little bit. It's going to peak a little bit because you're no longer using avoidance techniques. So keep that in mind. That's probably going to happen, right? So whichever way it goes for you, whether you feel motivated and better or whether it makes the anxiety kind of intense because you don't have your safety nets anymore, whatever, as long as you're doing the opposite, you got it, and that's all that matters. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to interrupt the stream too much about it, so if I can't figure it out, I may need your help later. You're fine, Kate. We're just hanging out. Let me see. I'm going to exit the server real quick, and then I'm going to pull it back up so we can get a server restart. Because I haven't restarted. I just leave it running because I know that you like join on and off throughout the day. So I haven't actually restarted the server technically in like 2 or 3 days. Maybe it just needs a restart. Okay, we are restarting the server, okay? I'll let you know when it's up. Just woke up and have some heart palpitations, but going on with my morning. I love it, Style. Get into that attitude right away as soon as you get out of bed. I love it, I love it, I love it. You guys are awesome. You guys are fucking badasses, all right? Nothing can stop you. Get out of your own way. It's just you versus your own bad habits. That's it. Not you versus some beast, some monster. It's just you versus your own bad habits. Face that anxiety, embrace it, do the opposite, and keep going. Steph, thank you so much, Steph. Could we get some purple hearts in the chat for Steph? And wait a minute, hold the phone. I think we got a 10 from David as well. Let me verify that real quick. But I think we did get a 10 from David. Steph, thank you so much for the 15. And yes, David with the 10. Thank you guys so much. That puts us at 40 just out of nowhere. Thank you guys, man. I appreciate it. Steph's tip note is 2 question marks. I'm not quite sure what that means. But thank you, Steph, so much. I appreciate it. Did you have a question? Is that what that means? Do you have a question? Maybe that's what that means. But either way, David and Steph and let's see, Craig and No Name. Thank you guys so much for the tips. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for the Purple Hearts. If you're new here, Purple Hearts shows love and gratitude to our tippers. We couldn't do it without them. We wouldn't be here without them. They support the channel and they help keep me going. So thank you so much. Always drop the Purple Hearts for our tippers. Thank you, guys. Thank you. What is the server name? We play on PlayStation, actually. We play on PlayStation. So I think you would just need to add me and get an invite if you play on PlayStation. But it is cross-platform, so I don't know. I think you can play on the server. It doesn't matter what you're using, Xbox, PC. I'm pretty sure Minecraft's cross-platform. I had a friend join me and Kate's server from PC not long ago, so it is possible. I believe you have to add me as a Microsoft friend before that can be done. I don't know. If you're interested in possibly joining me and Kate's Minecraft server, leave a comment in the gaming section of the Discord, and I'll try to step you through it. No griefers. Me and Kate's worked very hard, all right? No griefers. That's rule number 1. No griefers, okay? You'll get banned instantly if you grief. And number 2, well, that's pretty much it. Just no griefers. I play on PC. Well, then you'd still be able to join cross-platform. You'd still be able to join. My tip note was Christmas tree. Oh, okay, so I don't know. I guess OBS, my streaming program, just doesn't recognize it. Gotcha. Okay, well, thank you, Steph, regardless, for the $15 tip. I really appreciate you. And the Christmas tree emojis that apparently I can't see. Wonder Bro, can you fix my Minecraft account so I can play? What's wrong with it, Minty? You know, what I'll do, guys, if you're interested in the server, like I said, okay, I want to make one thing very, very clear, right? Because I don't know who and all is going to want to play on our server after this stream. I will drop my Microsoft tag by email in the gaming section of the Discord. You need to add me on Microsoft. That way you can cross-platform join our server, like join as a friend, right? But I want to make one thing very, very clear. I will ban you quicker. You won't be able to say the word ban as quickly as I will ban you. If you do anything to hurt me and Kate's builds, because we have put a shit ton of time into that, I will ban you so quick that your head will spin and do a complete 360 if you so much as touch a flower in my Minecraft yard, okay? So with that out of the way, if you would like to join our Minecraft server and go build somewhere off by yourself, I will drop my email in the Discord. Yeah, I know how to make backups on PC, but I'm not quite sure how to do it on PlayStation, man, so it's a little bit scary, not going to lie. I don't think anybody would do that, though. Because if they're in the Discord, they're probably not going to be a troll, right? They're in the Discord, so why would they be a troll? So I don't think that'll happen, but, you know. I've been playing Minecraft for like 15 years. It was one of my favorite games. It still is. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. It's still one of my favorite games. I've played it, like I said, for about 15 years now. And every now and then I'll make a server and I'll be super dedicated to it, and then I'll forget about it and make a new one. But we are pretty dedicated to this server right now. But creepers, yeah, you know, ugh. Fuck them creepers, man. Okay, I'll just say it. Just don't let all of his sheep out by accident like I did, and then I have to stand there for the next hour rebreeding. Oh my god, that happened? Kate. I must have been asleep. I usually leave the server running. That way Kate can play even when I'm asleep. You let all my sheep out. That's hilarious. That's actually hilarious. That's great. If you do end up joining our server, you won't know whose stuff is whose, like, because me and Kate build really close together. We're like, I'm building a castle, and Kate's building, like, the village part of the castle, like, outside the castle. So you won't know whose is whose build. So just don't touch anything at all, okay? Okay. Those creepers can, okay, if it's a creeper explosion, I will forgive that, Mint. I will forgive that. Don't explore at night. Just dig a hole in the ground and stay there until sunrise. But creepers can survive during the day, so I don't know. That probably doesn't solve the problem. I love how this turned into a Minecraft stream. That's awesome. Okay, the server's been restarted, by the way, Kate. I don't know. You can try to join now and see if it'll let you in. Make sure your game's updated, and if it's updated and it still won't let you join after the restart, then we're gonna have to look into that because something's broken. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be helpful and breed some sheep for him. Accidentally opens the gate. So I try to be productive on Minecraft, right? So I just like breed 1,000 animals all in one pen. Like there'll be so many animals in the pen that you're lagging and they're just everywhere. And if you accidentally open the gate, it's like opening a floodgate. There's so many animals that I have stuffed in these pens. So I could see how that could happen. You already have an account with this email, but then it said there is no account associated with this email, and it wouldn't let me migrate the account. So you do have Minecraft already bought for and paid for, Mint. You're just having trouble signing into the account. Is that what I'm hearing? Or are you going to have to, or do you need to buy Minecraft? Because if you need to buy it, you might as well go ahead and make a new Microsoft account. I need some water, H2O. Get hydrated, Sky, get hydrated. Can we watch y'all play? If it was on PC, it'd be super easy for me to stream, but it's on PlayStation. I used to stream from my PlayStation, though, so it's a possibility. I don't have a PlayStation headset anymore like I did in the past when I streamed PS4. So if I did stream me and Kate's Minecraft world, there would be no me talking. You would just hear the game. Like that would, I wouldn't be able to reply to your comments or anything. And I don't know how many people would be interested in something like that. But, you know, have a great day / evening, everyone. Got to head out. Hey, David, thank you for being here, dude. I really appreciate you. By the way, just because we're on the topic of Minecraft doesn't mean you can't ask your anxiety questions. Please ask them if you feel the need. I will more than happily do my best to answer them. How come you play on PS, not PC now? No reason, really. I just happened, like, I kept my PlayStation in my living room for a long time. And I recently rearranged my room because I got this new desk for my birthday. Thank you guys, by the way, again for that. Kate, Steph, everybody. And it gave me the opportunity to bring my PlayStation back into my room and hook it up in front of the new futon. So I was like, I'm going to do that just for a change. And then I just happened to start in a Minecraft world, and now it becomes serious. Is it your PC headphone Bluetooth? It works through a USB. I'm not sure if I could take the USB and plug it into the PlayStation and it would work, but I can look into that because that's actually, that might not be a bad idea. That could possibly work. 10 years ago or so, but it says I need to convert my Minecraft account to a Microsoft account. Okay, yeah, because everything became Microsoft as far as Minecraft goes not long ago, like here recently. I'm gonna have to do some research on that topic, man. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Everything got a bit confusing with Minecraft when it started to migrate with Microsoft, because, like, for example, I'm on PlayStation, but I'm logged into a Microsoft, which is Xbox account. It doesn't make any sense, and it's very confusing, and I don't know why they do that. I guess they did it for cross-platform reasons, but, yeah, I don't know. It's confusing. If you're on the Discord, though, and you're in the, and you check out the gaming channel, I will drop my Microsoft account. You can add it, and you can cross-platform join us. I'll also try to drop some, like, screenshots of me and Kate's builds. If you're not interested in joining, but you still want to see what we've built, I'll try to drop some screenshots of it in the gaming chat. Maddie, your talk about Minecraft is giving me anxiety. Maddie's probably like, what the hell is going on? Wouldn't it be so awesome to get Maddie into the Minecraft server? That would just be the best thing ever. I would bake you cakes in the game, Maddie, and I'd bring them to you. Me and Kate would build you a nice little shack. Just kidding. You can live in the castle. I'm building a castle. You can live in the castle. Your talk about Minecraft is giving me anxiety. Put a little dash mark, Maddie 2022. I've had friends get caught up on trying to log into their accounts, Mint. And I've had friends who've had so much trouble trying to get their Minecrafts to boot and log in that they eventually just ended up buying the game again, which is not a very good choice to have to make. But I have had friends like just not be able to get past the account sign in, and they had no choice but to buy the game again. So I'm pretty sure you don't want to do that, but I ended up doing that too at one point because I couldn't remember my stuff and it was giving me a bunch of problem trying to recover it. I've actually bought Minecraft 4 times, I think. Not all due to login issues, but just like on different platforms. And that was before they migrated it and made it into a Microsoft thing, so where you could just download it on whatever platform. So I had to buy it like 4 times, just for different platforms. Did you see my text about headset? Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Wonder Bro, my headset is a Logitech Wi-Fi. Logitech's a good brand, dude. Logitech's is a name brand, so you shouldn't have any problems with that. Sorry I missed your comments, Sky. I was getting too wrapped up in Minecraft talk. But yeah, Logitech is a good brand. It should be smooth sailing. I use Corsair, but I think it's time for a new one here soon. It's being weird here recently. Going to check my internet connection. That is strange. Yeah, I'm going to look into that, Kay. In fact, we are over our hour mark, so I'm going to go ahead and wind the stream down here. I'm going to look into that anyway. Yes, we are not worried about tip goal. You guys know exactly why we're not worried about tip goal, because of our boy Sky. So we're moving on to 234 regardless. Thank you so much, Sky, and thank you so much to all the beautiful people today. Steph and No Name, and who else was it? Dave and Craig, I believe. Thank you guys so much. You are awesome. I love you. I love you. We're moving on to a 234-day streak, obviously due to our pass from Sky. Thank you so much, beautiful people, for watching today's stream. If you are interested in joining our server, check the gaming chat on the Discord. I'm going to go fix the server right now. And, yeah, great stream today, guys. A lot of good questions, a lot of positivity. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed today's stream, please leave a quick like, a quick thumbs up, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Until next time, as always, stay awesome. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay. Cherie, thank you so much for that $20 tip. You did not have to do that. We got a free pass from Sky, but I really appreciate the shit out of that regardless. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. And that applies to all of you. Like I said, Steph, Dave, Craig, No Name, and everybody watching. Thank you so much. I'm glad I got the notification before I just got completely out of here. So timing was perfect there. But Cherie, thank you so much. We are on a 234-day streak. A sneak tip. That's basically what that was. Yes. Cherie, thank you so much for that. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Thank you to everybody watching and all our other tippers today. And a huge shout out again once more to Sky. Dude, you are a legend. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Stay awesome. Love you so much. You guys are so fucking generous, man. I'm so grateful. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. You guys are amazing. 10 out of 10.